Good day, my dear learners. I am Teacher Rose. Welcome to Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business, and Management. It is absolutely a wonderful day to learn more. But before that, let us check your prior knowledge in our subject. In this activity, we need to identify the correct business words from the given statements or definitions. The first statement asks you to identify the type of business that deals with rendering of services to customers. Is it A, merchandising business, B, manufacturing business, C, construction firm, or D, service business? If your answer is letter D, service business, you are correct. Our second given or statement says that in accounting, it is referred to costs associated with the usage of electricity, water, and communication for a particular period. What is that? Is it A, salaries expense, B, utilities expense, C, supplies expense, or D, depreciation expense? If your answer is letter B, utilities expense, you are correct. Very good. And let's move on to our last statement. And it asks you to identify a terminology that is referred to an open account which represents the amount of money owed by the business to creditors or suppliers. Is it A, mortgage payable, B, unearned revenue, C, accounts payable, or D, notes payable? Such a hard question though. However, if you have recalled it from our previous lesson, your answer should be C, accounts payable. Awesome, right? With that, I am pretty sure that you are very much ready for the next lesson. In the end of this learning video, you should be able to describe the nature and give examples of business transactions. Let us undertake the session's lesson through another activity. Name that verb. Name that verb. Name that verb. Do you still remember what verbs are? Yes, they are words that express an action, whether it be physical or mental. Therefore, in our next activity, you need to identify the action words or the verbs in a given statement. And our first sentence is, purchased office equipment for cash. And our verb is purchased. Very good. Next, pay the salary of the storekeeper. Paid is correct. Nice. Our fourth sentence, receive cash from customers. And the verb is received. Very good. One more, bought repair supplies for cash. And our verb there is bought. Very good. And borrow money from the bank. And the verb in that sentence is borrowed. Nice. Let's take a look back at our previous activity. What have you learned? While doing the activity, or shortly after, you probably realized that those sentences are things carried out by a business. Then you just hit the nail on the head, dear students. Very good. But wait, what are your thoughts about a business transaction? You might think of it as a deal struck between two people, or as an arrangement made by two parties, or as an event held by a company. Awesome! Those are beautiful concepts. In accounting, business transaction is also known as financial transaction. It is an occurrence that must be quantifiable in monetary terms and has an effect on the company's financial position. For example, suppose you operate a merchandising company and you sell products to a customer for 1,000 pesos in cash. That is an occurrence that you can quantify in terms of money and has an effect to the financial situation. Thus, it is considered as a financial transaction. So here's another illustration. You pay your storekeeper 10,000 pesos in cash as his salary. Since it has a monetary value of 10,000 pesos and has a financial effect on your company, this event is also a business transaction. Remember, only those activities that can be calculated in monetary terms are recorded in companies' accounting reports. A bookkeeper or accountant records each transaction by creating a journal entry. Before documenting a financial transaction in the report, the bookkeeper or accountant must ensure that it is fully confirmed by one or more source documents. A source document is a document that contains all of the necessary details to report the transaction in the journal. Typical source document example include sales invoices, purchase invoices, cash receipts, payment vouchers, and any other document containing the basic transaction details that can be presented as proof of valid transaction. The point of view of the business is examined when analyzing a business transaction. Identifying the value received or the value obtained as well as the value parted with or the value given up is very important in analyzing a business transaction. In this example of business transaction, purchase tools for cash, the value received by the business are tools in exchange of the value parted with, which is cash. Okay, let's try another example. In a business transaction, where there is a purchase of office supplies on credit, what would be the value received and the value parted with? The value received by the business are the office supplies. But for some reasons, the business do not have the capability to pay for cash. So they are parting with an obligation or debt to another company. Okay, that's it. But you can tell whether a case, agreement, contract, arrangement, or event is a business transaction or not by looking at those characteristics. Characteristics that define the business transaction's essence. Now, I believe you're ready for an activity to test what you've learned. We need to complete the following tasks in this activity. First, determine whether or not a case is a monetary one. Second, does it have a financial effect on a business? Third, determine the value received and the value parted with. The first three questions are predetermined. The rest is up to you to figure out. If you're answering, pause this video. Let's see if we can answer the first three questions. First, purchase store equipment for 5,000 in cash. Is it a monetary event? Yes, it is. Does it have a financial impact on a business? Yes. Then what is the value received and the value parted with? The business received store equipment and the value parted with is 5,000 in cash. Our second case is purchase store equipment for 10,000 on credit. Is it a monetary event? Yes, it is. Does it affect the financial position of the business? Yes. Then what is the value received and the value parted with? The business received store equipment and the value parted with is an obligation or debt. Our third case is borrowed money from the bank, 25,000 pesos. Is it a monetary event? Yes, it is. Does it affect the business financial position? Yes. Then what is the value received and the value parted with? Definitely, the value received by the business is the 25,000 in cash, while they're parted with an obligation to the bank. Did you get all the answers correct? At the end of the learning video, you'll find an answer key. Feel free to double check your answers. I hope everyone has a great time learning. See you again in the next lesson. And thank you. Once again, I am Teacher Rose.